All right, guys, so right here on the water, and this is Tampa Bay, Florida, and this is where we're going to do the casting impressions video of KastKing's new ALTI. Now, out here in the sun, I'll be honest, it still looks black to me, but it's supposed to be a dark blue, and I'm gonna be throwing around jerk baits and hopefully catch some speckled trout, and also check out the performance of this reel. All right, so let's talk about the other tackle I'm using with the reel. I have spooled up the reel with 10-pound fluorocarbon. I'm using a rod that I got off of Amazon. It's called the Handing Pioneer. It was only like $44. And I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with the rod for the price. Let's hope it holds up. But it is 7 foot, moderate fast, medium power, lure weight 5 to 18 grams. So let's tie on the lure and get to fishing. All right, so the lure I'm gonna start off with is the Lucky Craft Pointer 78. And let's set the reel up. And wow, the rod is loaded up really nicely. I don't think we can go much higher on lure weight, but that means I'm going to set up the spool tension on the AL. Remember, this has the dynamic brake system KastKing Halo Vortex, and I want to let the brakes do all the work, so I'm just going to barely eliminate the side-to-side play and have just a little bit left. So it's still a fast fall. And I remember they're pretty powerful. So I'm gonna start off with the brakes on, let's say 7. Now it's kind of windy out here, not too bad. But here's the first cast. Oh man. I just kind of barely whipped that out there, and the lure went over 30 yards easy. Now, I've been here quite a few times in the past, and we've always caught speckled trout around these pilings. So hopefully I'll be able to catch a couple for you guys in this video, but if not, we're still gonna put the ALTI through its paces. Pow! So no overrun on that kind of underarm lob cast, so I can definitely go a little bit lower on the brakes. Oh, I think I already got something. Oh yeah, I got a fish. Oh, he got off. All right, let's go out that way again. Man, just like with the MGTI Elite, the Halo Vortex brake system is a very free casting system, right? It gives you a very free casting spool speed experience. I think this pointer is probably heavier than 3/8 of an ounce because it sinks. But that's okay. I'll change it up later. Boom. Right, hitting over 30 yards, no problem. Now I believe KastKing rates this ALTI as saltwater safe, hopefully, but I am going to rinse it off anyways once I get home. Rinse out any kind of salt water. I don't know how good titanium does with salt water, but fortunately the water is not conducive to letting you guys see where this lure is landing when I make these casts. Man, just effortless casting, even from such a small spool like this. All right, let's try to put the lure right in those pilings. I remember I was here a couple years ago and I saw a huge snook just chilling right next to the shore, pretending like nobody could see him. All right, I think I'm gonna change up the lure to something lighter and something that's suspending, because I believe this particular pointer is a sinking lure. All right, so we've switched up to a true suspending pointer 78. Now, I know this is about 10 grams or 3/8 of an ounce. Bright chrome, one of my favorite colors. And let's start casting. Pow. Now, not going as far as the other lure because it's definitely lighter, but it's still going out there no problem. And we shouldn't be surprised because this spool is only about 6 grams in weight. All right, so I can see that even though it's a suspend, I guess since the water's so warm that it's actually a slow floater, which is good. But still no problems with spool control. So I'm gonna turn the brakes down. All right, it may be too bright and sunny of a day to be running this chrome lure, but let's turn the brakes down from 7 to 6. All right. Now, I'm not doing any overhead casts because there's this covering on this boat that I know I'll snag. Even on this brake setting, I'm still getting hardly any overrun.
Go to our spot.
Oh, if any at all. And let me know in the comment section if redfish jump. All right, we're moving spots.
Redfish.
All right, so I cast it into a wind there and got a little bit of an overrun, but no worries, it sorted itself out. All right, guys, so in between fishing, I'm actually gonna test these brakes out. We have a steady wind coming into me. It's just kicked up. I'm on the brake setting of 6. Let's see how the ALTI handles it. Oh! All right, so the brakes were too low. Probably need to go up probably 1 setting to fix that. Now, this is not the most quality fluorocarbon, I'll have to say. It's the Cigar 101 that you can find at Walmart. But yeah, I'm gonna fix the brakes and we should be able to cast into the wind no problem just by going up a couple of clicks. Now, as far as the gear ratio goes, yeah, they sent me out to 7.2 to 1. Okay, so the wind is pretty steady. So I'm gonna go up to number 7 on the brakes. Let's see what happens. Ooh, still had some overrun, a lot less. So I think 1 more click ought to do. All right, we'll go up 1 more click. So we're in between 7 and 8. There we go. Backlash solved or overrun solved. Got about, I don't know, 25 yards tops, maybe 70 feet. But that's into a direct wind. I'm gonna change the color. Oh, we'll do 1 more cast. The wind has kicked up. Boom, look at that. Into a direct headwind, probably going less than 10 miles an hour. Perfect cast. All right, let's cast over this way. Oh crap, I'm in trouble. All right, got myself out of trouble. But obviously, since the ALTI is so light and compact, that working these jerk baits for a few hours shouldn't be an issue for my wrists. All right, we've switched up lures to the Shimano World Minnow 115 with the flash boost. Can you guys see it? The flash boost working? That's kind of big. It's definitely heavy. It's kind of straining this rod. I think it weighs over half an ounce, like 5/8. Hopefully that flash boost technology will give us some bites. Here we go. I'll have to say the flash boost suspend is actually suspending pretty nicely. Oh crap. Whew.
If I need to.
All right, fellas, I found a pointer 65, one of the greatest colors of all time, baitfish silver. And this actually has teeth marks on it, so I believe I brought this with me last time and it caught some fish. Now with 10-pound line and this rod being rated to only 5 grams on the low end, it's gonna be tricky to cast, so it's gonna be a good test for the ALTI. I think it can handle it though. All right, I'm gonna crank the brakes up 2 clicks to 7. Now I know the ALTI on the right rod with the right line could bomb this pointer 65, but let's see how it does with non-ideal tackle. Here we go. All right, so distance not so great. My casting room is limited, but we got out there maybe 15 yards.
Got it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got his trout. My cousin caught one. It's his first fish he ever caught in his life.
Just pull and drag.
It's actually, yeah, kinda. Wait.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if this is a keeper size.
We're gonna keep the
Here we go, guys. Speckled trout, Shimano World Minnow. He is. All right, so we just saw my fool cousin catch his first ever fish. So we know they're here. So I'm gonna bogart his spot. And now that I have more casting room, ALTI Elite is easily casting this pointer 65. Boom. So once again, if you are wanting to get your ALTI, it's going to be a link pinned at the top of the comments. Use my promo code for a nice promotion. But what else I can say is that just like the MGTI, the reel feels super fine. It's not making any kind of sloppy noises. And at the $200-ish price point, I mean, it's got some serious competition, but it's got the performance to back it up. Boom. Boom. Now that I'm comfortable with the rod and reel setup, I can, oh, we got another one. Ugh. Oh, dang, that's a pretty good one. I think I'm gonna switch lures to the one that he's got tied on. Ah! Oh! Well, he unhooked himself. Well, come and get it. Scott, thanks, Susan. All right, we're switching up to the Rapala ripstop. It's got some gold color to it. Hopefully, it's gonna trigger some bites. Because that world minnow that my cousin's using has some chartreuse. Okay, so for the rest of the video, I'm going to be doing a voiceover, and since I was on a boat with multiple things getting in the way of my casting stroke, I wasn't able to really reach back and get a full power overhead cast for max distance. But from the few hours I spent out on the water that day, I got a really good sense of the ALTI Elite. Now, since the ALTI Elite is so lightweight and compact, I had zero issues with wrist fatigue twitching all those jerk baits of various sizes and weights for a fishing session that lasted a little over 5 hours. And I didn't have any wrist soreness the next day either. So when it comes to casting performance, despite having a smaller spool at 30 millimeters, the Halo Vortex brakes combined with the extreme lightweight of that titanium spool really give you a very free casting reel, just like the more expensive MGTI Elite that I reviewed a few months ago. Now, when I say free casting, I mean a reel that has a very fast feel to the spool, and it doesn't seem to choke off the casting distance, especially at the tail end of the cast, like a lot of reels with magnetic braking. So with very little effort, you can send an average weight lure a long way. But I realized actually that doing really long bomb casts on video would have been pretty much pointless from a viewer perspective due to all the chop on the water, and it would have been very hard to see where the lure landed for you guys. But all in all, it's pretty much the exact same impressive casting performance that you get with the more expensive MGTI, but for a lot less money. But that's to be expected since both reels share the same spool and brake system. Now, once again, if you want to get your ALTI Elite, click the link pinned at the top of the comments section and use the promo code REELTEST at checkout for a nice little discount. Now, unfortunately, I only managed to catch 2 fish and they were both small, but I have no doubts that the ALTI Elite could have handled much bigger speckled trout quite easily. My cousin ended up catching 4 to 5 fish, all using that same Shimano World Minnow in chartreuse color. That seemed to be the color they were hitting that day. So it looks like KastKing has a real threat to the 200-ish price point hierarchy in this ALTI Elite. And trust me, the competition at this price point is ferocious. We have multiple Shimano CURADOs and DAIWA TATULAs occupying this price point. And let's not forget the various LEWS reels, including the Custom Gen 3, that also sit at this price point. So a lot of tough reels to compete against, and that's exactly what my future plans are with the ALTI. Casting wise, I think the CURADO 150M might be the king of casting distance. So what I'm gonna do is battle it against the TATULA SB100, and then the winner will challenge the mighty 150M. But all in all, the ALTI Elite definitely has both the performance and also the build quality and refinement of a reel of its
price class. I'm real sorry I couldn't catch more fish for you guys. Last year when I came to Tampa, it was the exact opposite. I caught most of the fish, while my cousin only caught one. Strange how it always seems to work out like that. Well, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the inshore fishing footage, and thanks a lot.